Morning. Because of popular demand, Ann Barnhardt joins us this morning from her van. Good morning, Ann.
Good morning. How are you? Long time no talk.
I know, and it's such a delight to have you back with us. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm fighting the IRS a little bit right now, but otherwise everything is fantastic.
You know, I was reading your post over at your website, barnhardt.biz, and I was reading about the fact that the IRS found your PayPal account and were confiscating that as well. How did you find out that they were doing this? What happened? Give us the lowdown on that.
I was walking home from Mass, and I pulled out my phone, and I checked my email, and I had an email from PayPal that said, your account has been suspended and your debit card has been suspended. And I thought, uh-oh, what is this? I had a good idea. And so then when I got home, I called them, and it was very interesting because the IRS has them give out a phony bad telephone number, actually. And I called that phone number, which turned out to be completely false and bad. And I went back to PayPal and looked at my PayPal account and saw that it was some strange acronym, ACS Collections or something like that. And I Googled that, and sure enough, the Google result came up and showed that was, in fact, secret code for the IRS. So that's it. And then the next day when the account sweep cleared, I could still log into my account on PayPal and look at it. It actually did show that it was a garnishment by the IRS.
Imagine. Oh, boy, they have long, long tentacles, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. So
if you're not in the club, if you're Al Sharpton or Jesse Jackson or any of these other people, you can operate indefinitely, decades and decades and decades on end, have massive, massive seven-figure tax liabilities, and nothing happens because, as I've been screaming and yelling, there is no rule of law. We are living under an arbitrary tyranny, a totalitarian oligarchy, and there is no equal protection under the law or the rule of law. And that precisely is why I refuse to pay into the system any longer.
I understand totally. So what are you doing otherwise now so that you're no longer able to accept donations through PayPal? How are you I know the answer to this question, but I want to ask you to tell us, how do people donate to your cause?
Well, it's deeply suboptimal, but right now about the only alternative is Federal Reserve notes, cash, American dollars. If somebody wants to send a small cash donation to the mailbox address that is listed on the contact page on my website, that is still functioning. Although interestingly, I did get an email from an ex-IRS agent. There are lots of ex-IRS agents out there who have left the dark side and now actually try to give advice as much as they can and help people out, like myself. And he said that eventually the IRS will probably go after the mailbox too. But for now, that's still working. And then I've been online trying to research the alternatives to PayPal that are out there. And, they're all just horrible. They're all so sketchy. They're all driven towards, gambling is the best case scenario, but most of them are driven towards pornography, drugs, and the caliphate. There are a lot of them that are heavily involved with moving money back and forth between the caliphate and the North American continent. So I'm not going to get involved with any of that. I didn't come this far. I didn't chuck everything in and declare a financial market strike and shut down my business and go through all this and move to Riverville and do all this so I can climb into bed with some online money changing service that's servicing the caliphate. That's insane. I'm not going to do that. Much less porn, much less drugs, much less gambling. So I don't know. God will provide. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Something will present itself.
So, are checks acceptable too, or is that probably not checks because you have to cash a check at a bank or someplace, and that's traceable, right?
Yeah, the IRS has already seized my bank accounts. They still function. It's just that they are randomly, periodically swept. So I have to be super, super, super careful about doing anything involving the bank accounts. And the other thing is that I can't cash checks. I have to deposit them, which makes it more difficult as well. And now that I don't have a PayPal account, even getting cash out of ATMs is becoming extremely problematic. So, but don't cry for me. And this is no shock. I mean, people are just, oh my gosh, Ann, all of this is happening to you. Yeah, well, yeah, I declared a federal tax strike loudly, very, very loudly, and I am encouraging other people to do the same. What do you think? You think there wouldn't be any blowback? There wouldn't be any consequences? No, this is real. This isn't a game. This isn't a television show. This is real. And I knew from the absolute moment I started it that it would just be a matter of time before I was completely and totally paralyzed. I'm not completely and totally paralyzed yet, but we've taken a much bigger step closer to being completely and totally paralyzed. And eventually the day will come when I will in fact be a human being who is completely unable to transact any sort of electronic financial exchange anywhere on this planet. That day will come.
And what will you do?
I don't know. God will provide.
Okay. All right. Were there any surprises? I mean, you research things out pretty well. You scope it out, suss it out, or however you want to say it. And so I'm sure that you knew going into this that you were going, as you said, becoming a protester of paying the taxes on a federal tax strike. Were there any surprises, things that you weren't anticipating when you decided to do this?
I didn't know how the quality of my life. I am very, very surprised by how profoundly the quality of my life as life truly improved after I did all that. And you say, well, oh my gosh, Ann, that's crazy. You lost your home, you had to move, you had to just, pick up everything, sell absolutely everything. You quote unquote lost everything. Yeah, I lost all my material possessions by and large, but I gained a life. So, put that on the old scale. And, I've always known that this is going to at some point come to an end, and I will either end up in prison or in a combat situation and probably dead in a hot war. I've been given a fantastic, now it's been coming up on 2 years. I've been given a fantastic almost 2 years of just a quality of life that is so incredibly high that, no matter what happens to me, if I end up in prison, for example, all I'll have to do if I'm in prison, this won't be a problem. I'll be able to spend my days in prayer, exercising, doing calisthenics, and whenever I want, I will be able to close my eyes and I will be able to think on all of the incredibly wonderful memories and wonderful friendships and all of these things that have happened to me. How can I complain? How can I complain? That's what I told our Lord. It's whatever you want, whenever you want.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready.